During the second quarter of the 19th century, bandboxes functioned as both lightweight luggage and stackable multi-purpose storage containers. Made of either pasteboard or bentwood, bandboxes were covered in decorative printed paper, the subjects of which ranged from neoclassical scenes to depictions of contemporary people, places, and events. Bandboxes originated in Europe in the 16th century to store and protect the delicate linen and lace collar bands, after which they were named, worn by gentlemen. Over the next 2 centuries, bandboxes immigrated to America and evolved into fashionable carryalls used by both women and men. Bandboxes reached the height of their popularity between 1825 and 1850 because of America's growing wanderlust that was initiated by the introduction of faster and inexpensive modes of transportation, such as canals and steam locomotives. Shelburne Museum has an amazing collection of bandboxes. Hannah Davis lived in Jeffrey, New Hampshire from 1784 to 1863. Affectionately called Aunt Hannah by all who knew her, Hannah Davis ran a cottage industry, manufacturing her trademarked wooden bandboxes out of her Jeffrey, New Hampshire home. She started making bandboxes after 1818, following her mother's death, which left the unwed Hannah alone and without financial support. A savvy businesswoman, she bartered with neighboring farmers for materials and labor and sold her finished products to the young women working in nearby textile mills. Sadly, Hannah Davis was forced to close down her business due to a broken hip and was ultimately destitute. A beloved member of the community, she was looked after by her church and fellow townspeople for the rest of her life. Highly prized by museums and collectors for their craftsmanship and rarity, Hannah Davis warranted nailed bandboxes were made of wood instead of popular pasteboard. The bent side scatboards were fashioned of spruce and the lids and buttons of pine. Hannah covered her boxes with sections of reclaimed wallpaper and lined the interiors with religious newspapers, which helped date the boxes. One of only a few bandbox manufacturers to mark their products, Hannah Davis pasted labels onto every box she made. Designed to appeal to trendy young women and men, the bandbox papers on display in this corner were inspired by contemporary popular culture. Savvy bandbox paper manufacturers printed patterns that capitalized on the sensationalism of recent newsworthy events, the celebrity of military, political leaders, and the civic pride associated with local landmarks. Whereas the patterns based on current events and public figures would have had national appeal, the makers of the papers printed with local scenes of New York were specifically targeting city residents. Shelburne Museum was the first museum to exhibit quilts as works of art. The museum's historic textile collections have grown to include woven coverlets, needlework, hooked rugs, and printed fabrics from the 18th century to present. The museum's American quilts comprise one of the largest and finest museum collection in the country. They are known internationally for their exceptional variety and quality. The collection features masterpieces from New England, the Mid-Atlantic, the Midwest, and the South, and include album, Amish, applique, chintz, crazy pieced, white work, and whole cloth quilts. Museum visitors can enjoy rotating exhibitions of quilts, hooked rugs, woven coverlets, and samplers in the Hat and Fragrance Gallery. Most of the pieces in these collections were produced in 19th century New England. Early American samplers were embroidered pieces of needlework created by young girls in the American colonies during the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries. These samplers served both as educational tools and as a means of developing the girls' needlework skills. Typically, young girls learned to sew and embroider at a young age, and creating samplers was an essential part of their education. In it, they learned alphabet and numerals, motifs and designs, regional variations, stitching techniques. Early American samplers hold historical significance as they provide insights into the lives of young girls during colonial times. They showcase the skills and creativity of these girls and often bear the names and ages of the makers, providing a personal connection to the past. Over time, the popularity of samplers as educational tools declined, and their purpose shifted more toward being treasured family heirlooms or collectible examples of early American folk art. Today, early American samplers are highly valued by collectors and museums as important artifacts of American history and as expressions of artistic and cultural heritage. They offer a glimpse into the lives and aspirations of young girls in the early days of the American colonies.